All right, so what we got now, we got different types of ancestors. We're going to discuss the basic ones, the ones that's in the four elements of earth, air, fire, water. These is called the elementals. They're the ones really responsible for your composition of your body, because you're a composite being, so you're made up of all the elements. The four elements is basically everything that's on the periodic table, but broken down to its purest form, which will be those four elements. All other elements come from it, and it's a compound element. So now you're made of just that part of the ancestors, which will be considered light, all the different frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, aside from there, you have another set of ancestors that we call demons, or daimons, daimons, angels. Well, the difference between daimons and demons and angels. Daimons is the actual real name of what they are in its purest form. They're benevolent beings, divine beings that come to our aid to help us. Those are the ones that overshadow us. Now, with the daimon, they got a two-sided nature. So on one side, they become demon. That's when they're giving out punishment, or what's called karma. And then on the other side, they become what's called angel. This is now people that defend you against yourself, against your innermost demons that you create within yourself. So under those, you have now archangels. Archangels is your zodiac sign. You're governed by a zodiac sign that gives you a god that goes along with it. That now is the hierarchy of how the physical world work. You have the astral, which is the stars, which is the zodiac. They call them the archangels. They're the fathers of what's called angels and demons. Those is the Nephilim. The story is they came down a long time ago and had sex with the people that was on fours and created us, and the subspecies and all the different things that's here that we don't see. But before they created all of those, nothing is created unless it was created first in the astral world, the world above us. And once it creates in the astral world, it manifests down in this physical world. So everything really takes place in another world, and this is the last part of it before it decays. This is the physical. The physical world wasn't here on purpose. It's a mistake. It was out of fear, out of separation, that this world got created. So, we can't really live for this world because it wasn't supposed to be here. And I do believe that it's coming to be put back to where the proper perspective of it is. And a whole new definition of this earth is going to be done. So, aside from that now, there is people higher than the archangels, the four archangels. They're governed by what's called kings, or the kings, the four kings. These now is the winds, the north, south, east, west wings. When you read them ancient books like the Sumerian kings list of 3 or 4 kings ruling for like 89,000 years, it's not physical kings. These are the kings that they're talking about, that rules under a zodiac sign. They're governed under what's called princes and dukes. Princes and dukes is the demons that they roll with. So one king roll with about 1 billion to 1 million dukes. And it's a lot of them. The hierarchy is great. To get the whole system and understand it, it's kind of complicated, but I'm going to try to post a lot of it on my Facebook. You could join my group. It's going to be the University of Conscious Science group, and there I will put detailed information. It's going to be like a study group, the School of Thought, so you could come and join me over there to learn more details, everything. But even after the dukes and the four winds, it's still hierarchy. And that hierarchy now is in the ethereal world, the mental world. And that's another side of our ancestors. That side of it give you mental images through mental telepathy, so you interpret images and symbols. You don't really interpret words or even pictures of your ancestors. And for the record, you don't have a relative ancestor that is there in the astral world in the sense. You got to remember, you was first once part of the elements, and then you came here and the earth gave you your physical appearance. But that's not how you really looked in the first place. You've been here millions of times with different look every time. So when we're looking for a relative in the astral world or spirit from them to come, you can't see that. That's impossible because they go back to their pure essence. And what happens when they go back to their pure essence, they travel first through different bodies, from the astral body to the emotional body to sort out all the stuff that they did. Then they go into their real body, which is the magnetic field, and they keep their journey going, smaller and getting shrinker and shrinker, purifying themselves as they go through, and they become what's called a subatomic particle. This subatomic particle goes into your DNA. And so now when you create, your mother, your great-great-grandparents, whoever died is in you. They're residing on your skin, in your blood, in your thing. That's where they stay. You got their coffin on you, and they're on you. So you don't have to look for them outside of you or in some type of summoning. Speaking of summoning, we don't have to summon. We're spiritual beings. All that you read in them books for witchcraft and also making altars, you got to realize you're talking magic now, because now, remember, Noah is the first one who erected an altar. But he was already talking to God and the ancestors. But you got to realize the story is about an entity. None of the story in the Bible is about the physical world. It's about the astral world. And so when he set up the altar, it's like you setting up nature and all its elements and entities to become one with you. And so that's how it works. And that's why we're able to connect with all the different spirits and everything. How you doing? So I hope y'all get a good understanding of how it works. It's getting kind of dark now, so University of Conscious Science. One love.